permission to go out. Beautiful day, guys. Beautiful day. We are doing a quick energy check-in. I'm by myself today, y'all. Kelley Kills is not going to be with me for this energy check-in. I am by myself. Okay. We are just going to give everybody a quick second to get the notification, and then we are going to begin. Let's see what we got going on here. Beautiful day, everybody. Is there a way for me to, oh, there is, okay. Hold on, y'all. I meant to share this link before I even got on here with myself, and I forgot. Boom. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why it's doing that, y'all. Hold up, wait a minute, y'all. Something weird is going on. Okay, so let's do this. I'm trying to set it up where I can see the chat at the same time. Okay, give me a moment here. As soon as I'm able to see the chat. I don't know why I didn't do this before I hit the live button. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. I think I am able to see the chat now. Okay, and I forgot my glasses upstairs again. I moved them again. Okay, I don't know what's going on this morning, y'all. I'm usually so much more organized and prepared by now, okay? All right, so beautiful, beautiful day to everyone. We're going to go ahead and do a quick energetic check-in. All right, first of all, I want to thank y'all for being patient with me yesterday. I had an experience yesterday. I literally was going to get on yesterday and I was going to do, share the resonance of love and how that looks in this energy in real time, okay? But I found myself crying all day yesterday, and I woke up this morning, even in meditation, I found myself crying in meditation. But the what I felt, it felt like an immense outpour of love that was coming in from yesterday, and I felt it again this morning. It was like this release that was happening. There was like this release that was happening, okay? And this purging that was happening and an acceptance of yourself, well, myself, that was happening too. But also I can feel, oh, shucks. I can feel the shift in the atmosphere where people are ready to embrace who they are, It's like a what do you call that? Phoenix rising, or you can say the roots bursting out from the seed so it can plant itself. Boom, that's what it feels like. It feels like a planting is happening, okay? Like a being grounded or rooted is happening. And it could be possible because we did have the moon enter Virgo yesterday. But I have been feeling a big burst of love, in particularly self-love, okay? And I even want to say awareness. There is this awareness that is in the atmosphere, awareness of self, awareness that you're enough, awareness that you have the power to not just change your inner world, but also the power to change your outer world, okay? I was told that you guys cannot see the cards. They come out upside down. And I also want to say, another reason I didn't jump on yesterday because my girl Latanya dropped by yesterday and I made dinner and everything for her yesterday. We had a beautiful unpacking session yesterday. And I did take some notes because she do want me to talk about some things as I'm now back online, okay? But this energy that I'm feeling is exactly this. It's exactly you being able to become your own leader. It's exactly you being able to take your own cues. Your cues are no longer coming from externally, right? Your cues are going to be coming from internally. Your cues are going to be coming in from that nudge. Your cues are going to be coming in from that tightness in your chest when you're speaking to somebody. Your cues are going to be coming into that gut feeling before the phone rings or when you see that name pop up on the phone, right? Your cues are going to be coming in from entering into a room and you can read the room, people's not just body language, but their facial expression or maybe even the energy in the room is thick, right? You're going to be able to read the energy as you are moving forward in this era, okay? So you do need to be mindful of that, right? This energy is here and is teaching you this amazing unfoldment of self-love. It's really, really amazing, especially if you've been through any type of situation and life be life. And so I'm sure everybody, right, has had any experiences where life is life and you may have had such expectations for something or someone, okay, or even yourself, and it didn't pan out the way that you needed to, right? And a lot of times we allow things externally to take leadership of how we're going to move internally, right? Simple thing is you can be driving and your spirit tells you to turn left, but you choose to turn right, although you clearly heard an inkling in you to say turn left. And after turning right, you hit dead smack traffic and you're there for extra 10, 15 minutes. Versus if you had turned right, you would have been able to zoom past and get to where you're going. There's a freedom that's happening now in the energy, and the freedom that's happening right now has nothing to do with someone giving you a pass. It has to do with you giving yourself the grace, okay? You giving yourself the grace to unfold and remember who you truly are, okay? As I was in meditation this morning, I could feel it, right? I could feel the overwhelming bubble of people just not remembering how much love is out here and how loved they are. I could feel it, right? I could feel the energy of people and it felt like a cry out because people are tired. That's the best way I can put it. People are tired, right? And I want to more so impact some people that are really worried and concerned about how things are going in this world and the lack of compassion and lack of kindness. People are tired. But can I just tell you something? We're in a wave now where that compassion and that kindness first has to stem from inside. You cannot really fully give something to somebody that you don't have to give. Because if you're giving somebody something that you don't have to give, then that's you externally looking outside of yourself for that thing. So let me give you an example of how that worked, okay? I don't know if it was in yesterday's live where I was expressing to y'all that I have noticed that a lot of times we put label on the word love that has nothing to do with love. Absolutely nothing to do with love, right? I did this because I love you, right? I did this because I'm in love with you. When really I did this because I need acceptance is really what was going on, right? I need to do this because this is how I gain acceptance, and love to me is attached to people accepting me, right? I did this for you because I love you, but really what's happening, I did this because of this insecurity where I don't feel like I'm worthy of love, right? But that's the attachment that you have on love. So you're doing all of these things, right, to maintain what you think love is, right? To maintain what you think you're leading yourself in, right? Because sometimes you get in a position where you know that wrong has, or let's just say this, right? You know that there's been some type of infraction done to you because you can feel it on an emotional level, right? So you just know that there's some type of infraction done to you because you can feel it on an emotional level, whether that's felt through hurt, betrayal, whether you may even feel that through feeling sacrifice, whatever it is, right? You know that something has affected you because on an emotional level that resonance is showing up. Okay, that is an indicator for you to stop and check in to figure out what's going on with you and why this particular emotion is showing up. Emotions are here as indicators to kind of help you to know when you need to pivot, when you may need to take the time to sit down and woosah, right? Do you guys know that your stress level has so much to do with your daily movement, your daily decisions, right? Your stress level has so much to do with your daily decisions, which is AKA your future outcomes, right? So your daily decisions are your future outcomes, okay? Um, so let's think about this for a second. And I'm not even thinking, I'm not, and I'm going to stay really basic here. I'm not even talking about decisions on a physical level, right? I'm not even talking about decisions on a physical level. Oh, last summer you've been in hermit mode for, oh, honey, I've been in hermit mode for, hi, how are you, beautiful? I've been in hermit mode, I want to say for 3.5 years. I don't think I've been consistent on this channel for that long. But I think that's because the energy has been energying. And you've probably been going through an initiation, per se. If you've been dealing with some stuff, you've been going through transformation. And this is probably the right time for you to, come out of hermit mode because you may have learned so much by now that it's time for that beautiful butterfly to fly out of that crystal's cocoon that we call, right? So I get it. And can I just tell you, last summer, one of the things that I was just saying earlier is yesterday there was this immense burst of self-love that I felt flowing that had me in tears up until this morning, like just randomly throughout the day, because I just felt this burst of self-love and acceptance. And there's so much going on in the world today. So I don't know what happened or what popped off in the world yesterday, where I felt a huge amount of people are just tired. Oh, we did. Oh, you came back home. Oh, okay. So let me ask you a question. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Okay. I noticed in particular for me, right? Last year, the eclipse that happened in last September, I think for me was the last push for a cycle closure. Did you find that anything went down last year that removed anything? That removed anything or made you see something in clarity, in totality, that kind of summed itself up with this eclipse for this year? Because I went through an experience. Okay. Yeah. So that's exactly what I've been tapping into from since I come back. So I'm back in full force now, and I'm back because I got a lot of messages and I learned a lot of lessons that I need to share that can be helpful for us to navigate in this energy that we're in right now. The energy that we're in right now is one, you need to be your own best friend, which means that you need to check in with yourself before you check in with anybody else, okay? Um, Yep, it did. It cleared out all of the negative energy. Hey, light within darkness, my love. How are you? Can I just tell you guys, I miss you guys so much. I did. And because it's just the two of you in the chat right now, I'm gonna just go ahead and bless y'all with your individual card of the day that you can go ahead and um, move in that energy. Okay, so I'm gonna pull a card, just one each for you guys. Okay, one for summer and one for light. Okay, I don't know. Okay, tell me which one you want. All right, because you have the power of self-direction. You got a choice. Okay, or you got future higher self. Okay, tell me which card you want out of, and I will pull one card for each, okay? Because that's just me showing you my love and my support, because I know we cannot necessarily, we have to do the work, okay, ourselves. But in all honesty, it takes a community of support to let you know that you're not going crazy. You're not the only one going through this. And as a matter of fact, I went through that, and this is how what I did that helped me. So let me share so you can go ahead and maybe try this and see if this works for you. Okay. So higher self. Okay. Higher self. All right. Perfect. Okay. Let's do higher self. Okay, so I'm going to start with summer first, okay? And just so you guys know, the overall energy that we're tapping in today is leadership, and the leadership is in freedom. And leadership has nothing to do with a physical person or a physical setting. It has to do with internal leadership through your emotions, okay, and your thoughts, okay? Who's leading your emotions and your thoughts, and where can you bring freedom to yourself today, emotionally and in your thoughts, because you choose to be happy, you choose to be sad, you choose to be mad. Those are states of mind. Not to say that you're not going to be triggered, but you don't have to stay there, all right? So how are you leading your emotions and your thoughts today to bring you freedom, right? So you can navigate this energy. And freedom, I'm going to just say, which releases the stress, because I told you guys you need to balance your nervous system, okay? That's important in this new energy. Okay, so, all right, Summer, let's see what they have to say for you, all right? All right. We're thanking our higher self. We're thanking our guides. We're thanking our angels. I did too. Summer, I'm now a plant mom, okay? Because you know my babies, Summer. You know I do jumping cards, okay? I asked for one, but you got 4 of them that jumped out. Okay. Let's see what it's saying, Summer. You said you've been in hermit mode for 2 years. The cards are like, oh shit, she back. Okay, she back. Okay, you've been going for a long time. All right, it's saying challenge yourself to be stronger than your challengers. Ooh, this is a good one. It says challenge yourself to be stronger than your challengers, right? And can I just say, some of this doesn't have anything to do with anything physical. This has to do with you staying emotionally balanced and mentally clear, and allowing your yeses to be yeses and your nos to be nos, and not wavering or titter-totting between the two, okay? I feel like that's where this energy is being pulled from, okay? Because once you do that, any external challenge where you have to do something physical, you'll be able to move with grace in that, okay? Mind and heart, exactly, okay? What you find may not be what you expect, but what you truly need is what they're also saying, Summer. What you find may not be what you expect, but it's what you truly need. Hey, Miss T. And Miss T, I got the notification, okay? So I'll text you later today, okay, Miss T? So what you find may not be what you expect, but what you truly need is going to show up. Okay, and I feel like some of this has a lot to do with heart and mind, because that's how we're moving in this energy now. It has to be heart and mind coherence, which then produces the action, which then produces the physical outcome. Okay, they're saying do not dwell on what might be on other people's side of that closed door. Don't dwell on what's going on the other side of the door. Okay, it's kind of like and I'm gonna say here, Summer, meaning, ooh, okay, ooh, you know what just popped up for me? What just popped up for me, Summer, is there could be somebody in your energy vortex that was feeding off of your information that may have been pushed out of your vortex, even going back to last eclipse, right? And you may find randomly, if you feel any heavy energy, right, that's bringing you back to a moment, okay? Just know that's what this means. And more than likely, that person is probably pulling on you energetically because of what they're going through. And it feels because you made it easy, whether it was easy because you physically helped them in something, easy because you were the emotional dumping ground, or easy because it was they would come and mentally just dump, you were the mental fortification. Okay, whatever it is, it feels more like somebody that's no longer in your field, right? But you can just randomly find this person is pulling you. They're saying, don't concern yourself with that. This person created the karma, aka the effect, through the cause of how they treated the situation, is why they're not getting your energy anymore. And your energy is your currency. Okay, you need to understand that as we're moving through this new quasi era, your energy is your currency. All right. Life isn't a sprint, it's a long race, and you're not in it just to win, okay? Is what they're saying. And can I just tell you what I'm hearing, Summer? I'm hearing shine. I'm hearing it's time to shine. It's time to shine, okay? Unapologetically. And I'm also hearing, you don't gotta explain shit no more, is what I'm hearing. There's no explanation. You don't gotta explain yourself. You don't gotta there's no explanation needed. Just shine. And it's okay to be misunderstood, is what they're saying. Okay, once your intention is pure, it's okay to be misunderstood and to clarify for those who you feel need the clarification, because everybody does not require clarification. Okay. I hope that was helpful, Summer, all right? So just know as you're moving throughout your day and you find somebody pulling on you, okay, you need to know. Okay, y'all spirit guides is doing something. Look at all of these cards. Come on now. Y'all spirit guides is on some stuff this morning. I said one card. What's going on? I said one card. I don't know what y'all going on, what y'all guys got going on. Okay, the cards are still flipping on out. Okay. I do not know what's going on, light. Okay, let me okay. This is what we're going to do. Oh my gosh. And you got the same card too. Don't dwell on what's behind that door. Okay, so pay attention to who's pulling on you today. They say, okay. So this is what we're gonna do. All right. I'm gonna start with this one because I feel like this is anybody can grab that. You are an original, so let yourself follow your own heart. I think this is beautiful. Trust yourself. There's nobody like you. Allow yourself to trust yourself and follow your own heart. Be patient. Trust the wait. Everything is coming together. You don't have to try to rush it. It's all coming together, okay? And you're having the same energy like Summer, okay? What you expect is not what you may find, but it's truly what you need. Okay, okay. Your success is going closer than you can imagine. Big dreams are built by those who do the work. Ah, wow. Sometimes the best things are created from chaos. All right. You are currently under construction. Please be patient. Honestly speaking, like, you've had the power all along. You just need to believe in it. This is just saying, stand on business, like these young kids be saying. You know who you are, and you know you've been doing the work. And whatever chaotic situation was going on, or maybe brewing, right? I'm also hearing, don't respond the old way you would respond to things. Okay? You don't want to respond to things though. It feels like somebody is expecting you, or based on this situation, there's an expectation of how you're going to react. There's an expectation how you're going to move in this situation. Okay? So I'm hearing, move differently. Be patient with yourself. And it's like summer, you don't gotta explain everything. Like, not everybody's warranted an explanation, is what I'm hearing. Okay? Not everybody's warranted an explanation. So you need to understand that, okay? And if any of y'all are dealing with kids, if you have kids, especially pre-adolescent kids that just turned into teenagers, or you have kids that's grown, okay, or you even have kids that's coming into the terrible twos or whatever, know that your children is going to try you in this energy too, y'all. Okay? Especially the preteens, the teenagers, and the adults. Okay? The young adults, but also the adults that are going through Saturn returns. So between 27 and 30, okay? Oh, yeah, they're going to give you their ass a kiss in this energy, honey. Okay? Woo! Especially if they self-entitled. Ooh, baby. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the message. Look at the bottom, that potential. All right. So the message is coming through as you need to be able to become your own leader. All right. I want to take you guys through the experience that I had yesterday. Yesterday, I sat down to get back on live because I wanted to do the reading called Love, Resonance, the Resonance of Love in the Quasi era, right? And as I sat to meditate on the message and take the notes down, and I pulled the pre-cards, I literally went into tears. It was like there was something that broke and something that shifted, okay? And I began to really hone in and see a lot of people are releasing what they thought love was, or their expectations for love, right? Or maybe even the definition that they gave to love, right? Love no longer means this to this person, right? And let me just give you an example. Because I like to talk about real life experience, right? Because the real life experience lets you know that you're not the only one going through something, okay? From the time I started this channel, I was very upfront and honest about my particular walk is self-worth, okay? And as an empath, you need to be careful when it comes to any part of yourself that needs healing. Because what happens is, if you don't begin to heal and reconcile that part of yourselves, it's easy for other people to take advantage of that part of you. Okay? It's very easy for people to take advantage of that part of you. All right? So what I recognized in that meditation yesterday, as I sat and broke out in tears, we're still in Pluto energy. Pisces is next into Pluto. And we were talking about Pisces and Saturn yesterday, Summer, right? Oh, that reminds me because we were supposed to be jumping on with Kelly Kales today, right? And we might do that later this afternoon. I don't want to promise you because I haven't spoken to her yet for the day, so which is not usually how I usually have a conversation with her by now. So I'm not sure what's going on. But I don't want to make a promise, okay? I will be back on here later. And if I'm not back on here with Kelly Kells, I will be back on here doing the resonance of love, okay? But the energy, you're right, Summer, okay? The energy we were talking about yesterday is because the moon was squaring Mars, I want to say like 2 days ago. And there was this explosive energy happening, right? And Mars was currently in Scorpio. But then we have, I think, coming up Pisces and Saturn. There's energy in Pisces and Saturn. I think we were talking about that because Saturn is going to go, what am I saying? Which one of these planets is going retrograde? Oh, where's my notes, y'all? I don't have my glasses. I don't have my notebook. I took everything upstairs last night and I didn't bring anything down with me this morning. So y'all have to forgive me because I did not. All right, so I'm going to circle back on that because I want to give accurate information because you need to know what archetypes you're dealing with and moving with, okay? So, I want to have my notes for that, so I'll circle back on that. What I do know is this. I do know that Mars is currently in Scorpio, okay? And Mars is going to get to the middle point of its transit, I think on the 18th tomorrow, so this weekend, which means that you're going to have explosive energy popping off this weekend, okay? So you're going to want to pick your battles this weekend. The energy that people may be coming in this weekend because they're not taking leadership and owning freedom of their own thoughts and emotions. There's going to be a lot of projection, a lot of poking the bear, maybe even a lot of something little turning into something explosive, okay? So please be mindful of that. Now, as we go towards the end of that transit, let's say towards Halloween, coming into November 4th, when the transit's out of Scorpio, you're going to find that energy is going to become even more explosive, okay? So this is where you can find this energy where people are now, it's not just words being exchanged, okay? People are now ready to fight, okay? Saturn and Neptune. Oh, hey, Kelly Cows, I was just talking about you. Saturn and Neptune, okay. Saturn and Neptune, that's what we were talking about. The illusions, yes, okay? Okay, so illusions are being broken down, right? Now, and with the Saturn energy, Saturn deals with structure, law, and order. So police is going to be involved with that Saturn energy, okay? Neptune is going to be involved with illusions falling, all right? But you're also going to have that energy in the middle point of the transit, Mars and Scorpio, and then towards the end of the transit, towards the end of the month, it's going to explode, all right? So I want to say this, when you see energy like this, or you feel like people are just easily triggered, the one thing I want to say to you is you do not know what everybody is going through. All right, so that's the first thing you need to shoulders down. You don't know what everybody is going through. So you're going to want to pick your battles in this energy and be the own leader. Take leadership of your own emotions and your feelings, okay? Because people are going to be projecting. Okay, Uranus, so Uranus, Saturn, and Neptune is going into retrograde too, and Uranus. Okay. So if Uranus is going into retrograde, Uranus is responsible for that individuality energy, but it's also responsible for communication and what's good for the group. That's the archetype that is going into, right? So as it goes into retrograde, it's going to have you reevaluate not just what's good for everybody around you and in your circle, right? But how are you showing up as your own unique individual self, right? There's no more pretending to be somebody that you're not in this energy. All right? You will be seen. I'm gonna say that again. There's no more pretending to be somebody you're not in this energy. You will be seen. Mm-hmm. She Summer said she feel the ride coming. Yeah, it's already starting to bubble up. All right. So Kelley said all of them is going into retrograde. So that's what Uranus is doing. Saturn is going to want to look at what's. I want to say Saturn is going to look at the word that's coming up to me is what's fear as far as law, justice. This is the rules. Saturn is going to want to look at the rules of things, right? Saturn is also the timekeeper. So I feel in this retrograde, not so much rules, but a lot of timekeeping, a lot of flashback to times, and bringing up stuff that maybe may no longer be working in the way you do things. Maybe you may have to change your discipline in the way you move in this particular area, right? You may have to change your morning spiritual routine. You may have to change the way that you move with somebody, right? You may have to change the way that you respond to a particular thing. Whatever it is, you are unfolding and you are changing. Everybody's unfolding and changing. Whether you embrace it or not is up to you. Okay. And I'm just going to say, if you do not embrace the change, that means that you're moving in stagnant energy. There's no growth when the energy is stagnant. This is why you're going to find a lot of cloned energy out there. When I talk about cloned energy, I'm talking about people that's vibrating in the same thought patterns, okay, that's pushing out the same emotional vibration. And a lot of this is going to be riding on fear. And the fear comes from not knowing who you truly are and not knowing your power. In meditation this morning, I find myself crying out for those of us that actually recognize that we are enough. Right here in this moment, we are enough. We don't need anybody to tell us that we're loved. We don't need anybody to tell us that we can make it. We don't need anybody to tell us that we got this. Sometimes the people that's there to support you and help undergird you and help you up may not be readily available to give you what you need in that moment, but you can give it to yourself because you're already enough. The fact that you're here, even watching this video, or you're getting up every day, or that you give a smile to a stranger at the coffee shop, that alone lets you know that you're enough. The fact that you can smile lets you know that you're enough. There is nothing in your life that you cannot change unless you think it cannot be changed. What emotions as well as what thoughts are you repeating right now that you're not taking leadership on, that's leading you to your freedom? Are you looping every day talking about how much you were hurt? Are you looping every day talking about how much you don't have? Are you looping every day talking about how guilty you feel because you didn't take the path somebody else thought you should take, your parents thought you should take? I had a wonderful conversation with my friend yesterday. And after I made her dinner and she left, it was like after 8, y'all, and I was tired. I was tired, but I was also energetically just soaking up all of that love that I was feeling yesterday, right? And as we sat yesterday and we talked, and I don't have my notes because she gave me some really good pointers, asked some really good questions yesterday, all right? And one of the things that I said to her maybe 2 weeks ago, because I had an experience 2 weeks ago where my feelings got hurt. I had to take leadership of my feelings about 2 weeks ago. So when feelings are hurt, I then go into, okay, what is really hurting, right? What they did or said, yeah, that hurt. But what they did or said triggered this particular hurt. Now, where is the root of this hurt? And when I did the deep dive for the root of the hurt, what popped up was I no longer had to try. I no longer had to try. I no longer have to put on extra shit on my shoulder, right? That's not even mine. I don't have to try. I don't have to try anymore. All I have to do is be. So in that moment when I took leadership of my emotions and my thoughts, I realized that in this particular relationship with this person that I love, that's always going to be in my life, because you know I love you and your family, and family just don't go anywhere. It let me know that part of my worthiness was linked to trying hard, even with family members, not just lovers and co-workers, right? Even with family members. Then I started to look back at how I overcompensated, right, out of guilt, and then I tried even more, right? And I'm just going to tell you something right here. Especially if you are a parent, right, that got divorced or separated, right, or you're a single parent, period. There's some choices that you make, that you may make out of trying too hard to make up for choices that you had to make as an adult. Okay? Yesterday, that little girl was out, and that little girl was saying, I don't need you to protect me anymore. I just need you to show me the love that's here for me now that I didn't get when I was younger. We don't have to look outside of ourselves for love anymore. Now you can give me that love. I don't need protection anymore. I need love. A lot of us have attached the word love to things that had nothing to do with love, right? And the little girl or the little boy in us, you know, have had to go through, endure, experience things. And it's not a bad thing, because this is how your soul evolves, right? But you've made a lot of choices and a lot of decisions in the name of love that had nothing to do with love. But it's time for you to take leadership of your own emotions, right? When somebody hurts you, something irritates you, something triggers you. Okay. Yeah, there's an overcompensation, Miss T. There's an overcompensation. I realized 2 weeks ago when my feelings was hurt, you know, that I overcompensated for a lot of things because of that guilt. You know, moving my babies way from New York all the way down to Georgia, totally different life, because New York vibration is totally different from the vibration in Georgia, right? Moving them literally away from the base of the hub of the family foundation, right? And when I moved, my dad was alive and he was down here. But once my dad passed away, now it's just me and my kids down here. So the family foundation and structure that we had at the base is no longer here. So even with that, I still had to make choices and decisions to make sure they was okay and be a helicopter mom and do all of this stuff, right? In the name of love, that had nothing to do with love. I was overcompensated because I felt guilty because I got divorced, the marriage didn't work out, and I moved my kids all, 1,000 miles away to start over. And yeah, be honest. And then when I caught that, it dawned on me, well, shit. One, I could forgive myself because I did the best that I could do, right? And two, I don't have to try no more. These kids grown. I don't have to try anymore. I'm not in a space where I have to be on guard and stressed out every time, right? And this is not just for the kids. This is just in life, period. There could be something coming closer to 50, y'all, because I'm going to be 49 this year. And I'm going to be very honest with you. And a lot of this too, I think, comes with doing your work. You get to a space where the only person that you need to explain anything to at first is yourself. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of times when you get with yourself, what you realize is you don't really need to get with nobody else to concur with you about what you just concurred with yourself about. You don't need nobody to validate what you just sat and told yourself. External validation should just be icing on the top. Hand raised over here. Love has nothing to do with external validation. Love has to do with you, love of self now, right? Has to do with you showing up for yourself even when nobody else shows up for you. How does that look? Come on. You get a phone call, and I explained this to my girlfriend Latanya. She was when she was here. She asked me a question. She said, "How can you tell the difference between toxic people and narcissism?" Because I tend to put everybody in the same category because of my experience. And by the way, I've gotten permission, okay, from Latanya to not only just say her name, but to also use her as an example and use some of the experiences that she gave me. Right. She said that she puts everybody in the category as a narcissism because of her experience. You know, she can't, because she thinks just people, you know, you just, if you're toxic, you're a narcissist. So I explained to her, not really. There's a spectrum there, right? A toxic person has empathy. They can feel sorry. They can feel some type of guilt when they do something to hurt you. A narcissist has no guilt. A narcissist does not feel sorry. As a matter of fact, when a narcissist get caught in a lie and the story begins to shatter, it is now their job to destroy you emotionally. Any light or any speck of you that's left, okay, they are determined to take you down, okay? And everything that they've learned about you and accumulated about you, they will be using against you. My question that I have to you is, how much of us have been having toxic relationships with ourselves? Right? How much of us have been having our own toxic relationship with ourselves? The minute you can begin to recognize your own relationship internally, okay, then there is no need for you to have an argument with somebody because you know, okay, that's that part of me that need to prove myself right here. I'm not even fitting to go back and forth with you. I said what I said, and that's it. I don't got to prove to you. Oh, that's the part of me that's always over explaining my point. Yeah. I got to over explain it, you know. Now, some of it is it's in your chart, so you can't help it. Like for me, in my chart, I got 111, so I'm a talker. I like to talk, right? But I know some of the over explaining in my past was not just the talker in me. It was a part of me that feel I needed to be able to over explain the situation to be accepted and to be validated and to be loved. Okay. Okay, Summer is saying, yes, you're right. The reason why I think I had to move back was because I never handled my past. And take off the root of the problem. Yes, yeah, you got to recognize the root of the problem. You cannot fix what you don't see. You cannot evolve past what you don't see, right? So it's kind of like I heard this story one time where this lady, you know, she cooked the greens every holiday and she cut the ham hock, you know, she cut the ham hock in half, or the smoked turkey or whatever, the ham piece in half. And she said, one day she asked grandma, grandma, y'all always cut the ham hock in half, you know, back in the days. And why y'all did that? I never understand what part of the recipe. And the grandmother just said simply, something that she thought was tradition was simply because the pot was too small. So in order for her to fit the ham piece in there, she had to cut a half of it off. So here it is. Now, this is now 3 generations in, right? So we're talking 3 generations in of how to prepare the greens, right? And you're thinking cutting it in half has to do with the recipe. But it didn't have to do with the recipe. It had to do with the capacity, the size. It could not fit in the pot. So some of us are walking around with our own unique recipes, right? Trying to fit our recipes in pots that cannot hold us. AKA situations, friendships, jobs, marriages, partnerships. Right? It's quick for you to forgive everybody else, but you can't even forgive yourself, right? and you think the person that's toxic or the person that's narcissistic in nature can't recognize your imprint and your archetype of guilt, they can, because that's what they're feeding from, because that's what they use to get you to do what the fuck they want. It is important for you to recognize you. So that way, when you show up in other people, you can pivot and take leadership of your own emotions and your own thoughts, because that's going to lead to your actions, which is going to lead to your outcome. So you want to talk about the 4 elements? Thoughts, air energy; emotions, water energy; action, fire energy; physical experience, manifestation, earth energy. You're always operating in the elements. So the elements, let me just tell you something. This is exactly why I love spirituality and why I love truth, because you're going to find truth in everything. So you can find the 4 elements in astrology. You can find the 4 elements in nature. But guess what? The 4 elements are also in you, baby. The elements are in you. Air element, how you think. Water element, how you move through your feelings. Fire element, the actions that you take or don't take. Earth element, how all 3 of those things are playing out in your physical real-time experience. Nothing is wasted. It's all connected. It's all connected. So as you are moving throughout your day-to-day, as you're remembering who you are and giving yourself the grace that you freely give everybody else, okay? And let me say this too, because I'm being told to tell you this too. Not just the grace that you give other people as you're moving throughout the day-to-day, and that maybe that nasty energy that you may be giving back to somebody, or that nasty energy that somebody may be giving back or sending out to you, you don't have to stay in that state. Being nasty to somebody is a choice. Every decision that you're making, whether it's in your thoughts, in your emotions, in your actions, in your fit, is going to produce a physical outcome. Your decisions are producing your future. So your decisions of what thoughts you're making right now are producing your future thoughts. The emotional decision that you're making right now, right, to react emotionally, guess what? They're producing your future experience. It's cause and effect. What we call karma or dharma. Well, not really dharma, but karma. Cause and effect is linked to karma. We can get into karma and dharma a different day. How long have I been on here, y'all? I can't even see. I don't have my glasses. Glasses, so I can't even see. I can't even see. I hope this message was helpful for y'all today to get through your day, okay? For you to be able to make decisions and awareness, even if it's for 5 minutes today. If you're even able to just make 1 or 2 decisions and awareness today, because you're taking leadership of your thoughts and of your emotions. And there's nothing wrong with feeling anger. But ask yourself where that anger is coming from, right? And I want to say this too. As empaths, sometimes, and especially depending on how sensitive you are, right? And this is why you're going to be taking leadership. You can walk into a situation and have energy projected on you. So if you find yourself today, especially if you're working where is other people involved, and you find yourself, you were fine, and then you walk into a room and all of a sudden you feel irritable, you feel irritated, you feel short-tempered, know that might not necessarily be your energy. That could be a tone that's being set by someone else in the room that you're picking up on. But this is why it's important for you to know who you are and know yourself, and even check in with yourself. Check in with yourself. Check in with yourself today, y'all. Okay? Check in with yourself today. Let me see what the opposite energy that you're going to be working with today. I'm going to let y'all go ahead and start your beautiful day, okay? And like I said, I don't want to say I'm going to be back on here later with Kelley because I haven't tapped in with her to see what her day got going on yet or what popped up, okay? But if I am not back on here today with Kelley you guys will definitely see me back on here, and we're going to be talking about the resonance of love, okay? I'm going to be breaking... I can't fucking make this shit up. And the card jumped out. Gaslighting. Okay? Be prepared for the gaslighting energy today. This is why you're going to have to take ownership of your shit, okay? Ooh, baby, okay? Gaslighting, all right? And I just want to say this too. Accept that people are who they are. You can't change nobody. The only person you can change is yourself. And the world is not going to change until you change, I change, the next person changes, the person after that changes. That's how the world is going to change. The world is going to change when we all decide to begin to take leadership of our own shit. Okay? Oh, that's what one of the notes Tanya said yesterday. She said, friend, could you talk about, when you say taking ownership, could you talk about ownership of your shit? Ownership of your shit? No, ownership of your ship or something like that. It's in my notes. I gotta write it down. But we're gonna talk about ownership of our shit. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that because she wanted me to unpack that and what that looks like and how sometimes when you don't do that, how you can be easily manipulated, okay? Because you're not owning your shit and it keeps popping back up for you to be able to see it through other people in your relationships and you still don't see it, right? So guess what? You get the same experience with a different face, or you get the same experience with a different cousin, or you get the same experience with a different coworker, right? And you're like, I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know what's wrong with people. The question is, do you ever stop to think if you have maybe 4 or 5 people telling you the same thing about you, the problem is maybe not so much them, but you? Especially if you know not all of these people are toxic. I'm just saying. It's easy for us to look outside ourselves. So y'all go ahead and vet the energy today, all right? Are you moving through victimhood or victoriously, right? Are you embracing or are you trying to escape? Are you transferring the energy or are you transmuting the energy? Vet the energy, okay? V is for victimhood or victory. You got a choice which one of those you want to be in. E is for you're either going to embrace or you are going to try to escape the experience. And let me just say this, if you try to escape the experience, you're not going to get away because it's going to pop up again in a different lesson with a different way, okay? Summer just said it. Summer just said that she had to go back to the root. And I'm sure Summer will be able to confirm that she has some of the same experiences with different faces. Okay? And the T means, are you transmuting the energy or are you transferring the energy to someone else? Okay? I love you guys so much. I'm so happy to be back. I'm so thankful to be back. I'm so thankful for the love that's now... and I want to say showing up in a different way in me. The light and the love that I now recognize and remember that's in me that I can now share with you guys and share how you can tap into your own love and your own light. I feel like I want to start crying again. So I'm finna get off of here. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I'm going to be back later, okay? You guys have a wonderful, amazing day. You want to do something kind for yourself because you should, okay? And you also want to do something kind for somebody, not because they deserve it, not because they special, but just because you can and you powerful and you the bomb, okay? All right. Bye, guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day. Miss T, I'm going to text you. Okay. Bye.